just changing tack slightly, I'm wondering whether public relations itself is adapting fast enough to handle the communities that are out there, the different channels that are opening up, and whether we're moving swiftly enough to maximise those for the benefit of our clients.
That certainly is an organizational goal at Porter Novelli. One of the things that we are working very hard to do is innovate in as close to real time as possible. We recognize that a big part of the value proposition we offer clients is helping them to stay ahead of the latest developments and take advantage of the latest tools, developments, tactics in communications. We feel a great sense of urgency, and I think all public relations organizations should, because to the extent that we get it right, we're going to capitalize on a huge opportunity. To the extent we don't, we may miss that opportunity. That traditional media needs to be considered as part of this communications ecosystem that we talked about, because we clearly see the interplay between digital and social and traditional, and to suggest that those exist separately is to ignore reality.
Are companies being caught out around issues in crisis management today?
Yeah, I think what's interesting, we like to say if your crisis communications manual, which many companies has, is more than 12 months old, it's out of date. And in point of fact, to the extent that a crisis plan doesn't include digital and social media from, upfront from a monitoring standpoint, and in terms of some of the tools developed in preparation for crisis, or as part of a mitigation strategy, it's not a full-on crisis plan. It's not something that's going to work in the current climate.
Are companies embracing their communities and communities of stakeholders?
Yeah, I think they are. I think, a year ago, 2 years ago, companies, the notion of community management, online community management, was not anything companies considered. Today they have to. The idea here is that people will have conversations about companies and brands, and those same companies and brands are missing a significant opportunity if they don't sort out how to engage with those stakeholders, with those communities.
Do you think it's a fundamental error of companies when they get into engaging with their communities of trying to control the peer-to-peer conversation in those groups?
I would hope that most companies have given up this idea that they are going to be able to control everything that happens within a community. They can no sooner do that online as off. What I do think they need to focus on is providing a place for community engagement to happen, to figure out their policies, protocols, and methods for engaging in a meaningful way with their communities. And very importantly, they need to figure out how to listen and how to do something with what they hear. That's an expectation on the part of members of a community when they're interacting with an organization.
Does this require a cultural change on behalf of the companies?
It's a cultural change, it's an organizational change, it's an operational change. It's significant. I mean, and I want to diminish the fact that what we're asking companies to do is something that most of them haven't been very good at. Most of us as marketers are much more comfortable talking at people than we are engaging in a conversation, listening, and then doing something with what we've heard. And yet, there's an inevitability to digital and social media and an expectation on the part of stakeholders that organizations will have this sort of engagement, will have this kind of give and take. The trick, is to figure out how to, effectively engage stakeholders on the basis of what's right for them. At Porter Novelli, we talk about something called intelligent influence. It's using the entire communications tool set to effectively engage people such that their behaviors, opinions, attitudes, beliefs change. Digital and social media is going to be right in some of those situations. It's not going to be right in others. And the trick is fundamentally understanding those target audiences well enough to know what will work.
Within a corporate structure, where do you think the management of digital online media should reside?
I think when you're talking about community management, when you're talking about helping to foster a relationship between stakeholders critical to the organization and the organization itself, you want to focus on people whose core competency is relationship management. Okay, that's going to be people in public relations. It's going to be people in corporate communications. It's tempting to say it would be marketing. Marketing, by and large, is more comfortable broadcasting, pushing messages out, than it is in the one-to-one or one-to-many relationships and engagement that are the hallmark of social media.